What is going down, SDS? We are back again for our second film breakdown in a row. Yesterday, we broke down Sam Darnold just because there was so much conversation percolating about Sam Darnold and the speculation. We're just like, hey, let's just watch some tape. Let's stop talking about other people's opinions and let's make our own. Let's see what he put on tape last year, and we're going to do the same with Trey Lance. Obviously, Trey Lance's sample size is much smaller because he got hurt in week 2 from last season, but we still have a full game available to break down of Trey Lance, and we're going to look at the good, the bad, and just like Sam Darnold, we're just going to watch. We're just going to evaluate. We're going to let the tape speak for itself. We aren't going to inject our narratives into it. We're going to let the tape create the narratives, and then we'll go from there. You already know the vibes. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Drop an SDS in the chat. Let's break down some Trey Lance film. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. All right. It's time. Time to get into some again, getting into these film breakdowns just makes me miss football. Makes me miss doing this on a weekly basis because, as you know, if you are a regular on the channel, you know we're breaking down film every week. Uh, Specifically the offense, because I am admittedly an offensive guy, former offensive lineman, so I feel like I know the most about the O line. We'll do some defense too during this offseason. We can't leave the defense out, especially the number one ranked defense. Got to show them some love. So we'll do some defensive film breakdowns. But right now we're kind of on this quarterback series. And again, if you weren't here yesterday and for our live where we broke down Sam Darnold, the whole reason and kind of the thought process behind all of this is there's so much conversation, just so much talk about the quarterback. It's like, man, let's just watch. Let's just watch. Let's roll the tape. Let's let the tape speak for itself. I'm tired, just like probably you guys are, of hearing and discussing other people's opinions about the San Francisco 49ers quarterback position. And there's going to be 50 more days of that until we get into training camp and we get some actual tangible things to talk about from training camp. Or even, I mean, we'll get some stuff from OTAs, but it's OTAs. Take it with a grain of salt. Training camp is where we really try to paint the full picture of what we have, and then we get that in preseason and so on and so forth. So the exercise that we're doing is we're just going through some tape. So we watched Sam Darnold yesterday. To recap Sam Darnold, and it was versus the Bucks. It was one of his better games of the year. They didn't win the game. It felt like the typical Sam Darnold experience. And when you say typical Sam Darnold experience, it was you got that's the number 3 overall pick type throws, but then you also got the throws where you're like, maybe could have made a better decision. Maybe you had some turnovers, like that's some of the mental things that you want to see figured out and put together and cleaned up. So I think when kind of getting into the Sam tape, I can see why certain people are talking about Sam the way they are, but I can also see why a lot of people aren't excited or aren't giving Sam the benefit of the doubt, because there are still those lapses, those I think what we look at as kind of mental errors and things like that. And maybe not putting the ball exactly where it needs to be, but you also get those darts. So it's a little bit of what did I call it? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like Two-Face from Batman. It's like you got two sides of Sam Darnold, and it's just what side of Sam Darnold are we going to get? We're going to find out. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to get into Trey. So yesterday I had asked what tape you guys wanted to watch. It was predominantly Texans. I got to track down the Texans tape. I have it. I've got 3 external drives. I can only access 2 of them right now, and the one drive that I believe all my 2021 tape is on, I can't get into right now. I'm gonna figure it out. So, we'll get to the thankfully, it's a long off season, so we will get to the Texans tape, but for now, we're going to do week 1 Trey versus the Bears. And we're just gonna let it ride out, and we're gonna see what Trey did in this particular game. Remember, this was his first game as a as the guy, as the franchise quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And again, we hear about it all the time, right? It was in a monsoon. It was the most disgusting weather I think that we have seen in recent memory. I think back at the 2019 game against the Washington Commanders, that rain game was just gross. I think back to 2021 against the Colts, where there was like a monsoon broke out in Santa Clara. This was one of the crazier games. By the end of the game, that logo, those lines, those numbers, you could not see. But that's football. You got to play in those elements. And let's face it, Trey Lance is a northern product, right? Minnesota, North Dakota type area. Like he fits right into this Midwest vibe. So, and he did pretty well. But let's get into it. We're just letting it run out until we get our first kind of Trey Lance showcase. Obviously, too, I'm going to keep an eye on other things. If we see other things pop, we'll talk about it. It doesn't have to be solely Trey Lance, but that's the focus of today. Uh, I mean, I think it goes two ways. I think you don't want to use it as an excuse, but also too, it is an outlier from the norm. Playing in a monsoon isn't normal. It's a part of football. It happens. Um, it changes the game plan. It changes footing. There is a contextual there is context that comes along with playing in a monsoon. Is that necessarily an excuse because both teams got to line up, both teams got to do it, and both teams got to perform. So from that standpoint, there's no excuse. But also, it is a different development playing in a monsoon opposed to not. So there is context that does require uh, that to be taken care of. So what do we got here? We got a little quarterback sneak, Trey Lance up the middle. Nothing special there. I believe they got the first down. He's able to barrel his way through first down. All right. We're going to get one of our first throws here from Trey Lance pretty soon. So far, again, talking about the monsoon, you can see how the monsoon has impacted the play so far. Kyle Shanahan setting up a bunch of runs, and then we get our first play action to Brandon Ayuk, and it's executed really well. You get motion from Deebo Samuel. Watch the relation, see the defense, and again, Kyle Shanahan. The 49ers are known for running pre-snap motion probably more than any team in the NFL, and it's for a reason. Watch all the linebackers, watch all the safeties. Look at the safety at the top of the screen. He's keying on Deebo, right? You see Deebo go all the way across the formation. Number 6 follows. But watch the opposite side. I think that's 4 up there. Come up into the box because he is on alert for Deebo getting the ball here. That's why he comes up and then fades out into the flat. So the pre-snap dressing is for a reason, and you can see how it affects the defense. They're watching for Deebo to get the ball here. Then they're on alert to Elijah Mitchell. Trey Lance executes the play action well, gets his again, I talk about this all the time. Play action is a learned skill. Turning your back to a defense, executing fake handoffs, and then getting your eyes back around, navigating pressure, and then being able to execute. I mean, that's a great throw. Great throw. Brandon Ayuk, wide open. What's Brandon doing? What's BA doing? Man, you can't leave BA open like that. Oh, they use great spatial awareness. See how BA stems this up towards the safety. Oh, I like that. I never really noticed that before. See how BA kind of doesn't do anything special, is kind of running flat on his track. Then he stems up, and that changes the positioning of 22. And BA basically uses that safety to get open. Great route by that. Great route by BA. Great situational and spatial awareness to understand that he used number 9 to get open. Great job there. Great job there. And then shout out to Trey Lance. Great throw by Trey Lance on the money. Steps up into the pocket, nice and easy. Hits him in stride. Big play. So again, we were like, all right, we can vibe on this. Again, Trey Lance's first start as the guy, not his first start ever, but his first start as the guy. We get wide back Deebo Samuel. We get the handoff to Deebo. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. I forgot about the early fumble. I forgot about the early fumble. This is really what kind of changed the momentum of the game super early. I forgot. Deebo got the ball punched out. We got a peanut punch by number 33. See his fist, boop, punched it. I don't know if that's what did it or 9 putting his shoulder on the ball, but that was a huge momentum swing. Being in scoring position, just think about the confidence that would have built for the offense. That was a huge momentum swing right there. Huge. So, okay, what's next? All right, they reset, they get the ball back. So they lose out on that scoring opportunity. And we get a handoff to Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell was looking really good in this game too. And if you don't remember, Elijah got hurt this game. And I don't think we saw Elijah until what was it? We didn't see Elijah till week 10 after this game. What do we got up front? A little split zone action, split zone with kind of a zone read, but blocked well. Croft gets the D end. Great job by Elijah to threaten inside, cut it out. You get a nice down block from Burford and McGlinchey. Runs right off their hips, makes a guy miss. Nice job. All right, let's see what else we got. I think we got, it's coming up soon, but I think it is probably got to be considered one of Trey Lance's best throws of his career. If he hit, man, talk about early momentum swings. Like this was set up. It was called perfectly. Who's in? Oh, that's right. Kittle was hurt. Kittle was hurt this game. He was hurt first 2 weeks of the season. So just imagine, close your eyes and imagine that number 81 is Kittle. That's housed. That's Kittle's got a step on Croft for sure. So again, I'm not making any excuses, but you get the play action, kind of has some pressure. Close. Again, I look at these types of throws, even though they're not considered successful. I mean, it's hard to not look at these and see the potential though. Like give him more reps, right? Give him more reps with these guys. Give Trey some more opportunities. More reps, I think, cures this, right? You put maybe a little bit more air under it so that he can run under it a little bit more. Like you're nitpicking here, but man, so close, so close. Again, huge momentum swing. So who knows? Who knows if the rain is a factor there? Someone said Brock would have hit that. I don't know if you guys remember. Brock threw some errant throws at the beginning of the wild card matchup against the Seattle Seahawks because it was raining. And he said he even admitted that one of the balls got away from him. So again, we're not making excuses, but the fact of the matter is it's a wet ball. You don't know if that ball got away from him a little bit, but you can at least kind of quantify and see that it was close. It was close. Sorry, James. You're going to have to watch the chat argue about our the 49ers quarterbacks the whole time I'm breaking down the film. It's we experienced this yesterday with Sam Darnold. It was like a whole hour of the chat just arguing about the quarterbacks. And again, we're gonna see more of it with Trey Lance. But hey, it's part of the experience. It's part of the experience. It's the 49ers experience here. The 49ers discourse of the quarterback position. Oh, this play. This play. Y'all remember this play. Mike got cooked for this play. This was the walk away, not pick him up play. It's funny because Mike got roasted, but no one picked up Trey. Trent goes. Banks is this somehow turned into some super controversial thing about not picking up Trey because no one liked Trey. It's just like, man, Trey got thrown into a position where he was already getting up. Like, crazy, man, crazy. But yeah, Mike got beat on that one. Double hand swipe. I think that's Dominique Robinson. Goes for a wide set, maybe overset a little bit. Isn't able to get leverage to go inside. Sack. Not the best. I think this is the drive that I think this is the drive that we get probably one of Trey's best throws of his career, in my opinion. I think it's coming up. And again, this is such an abnormal game because of the weather. It really has to be run heavy. Not that that goes against anything that they wanted to do to begin with. Trey in pistol formation, zone read action. So that's again one of the differences when we saw Kyle call games for Trey is you got more things like this. Um you got more like pistol type formations, more like zone read action, like you got more of this type stuff opposed to what Brock does. And again, I want the zone read. Trey. I think you gotta have the zone read with Trey because that's how you get 11 on 11 football. But it definitely does look different sometimes than what we saw with Brock versus Trey. So this one, little jittery. You got 96 getting kind of getting some leverage on Banks. Banks is able to turn it into a run block and just kind of ride 96 up the pocket. And then you can see Trey take like an aggressive jump step up, but he kind of jumps into 94 and then he has to kind of see him jump and raise to throw. And so I think that just kind of messed him up. I think he finds the correct read. I think he does a decent job of kind of stepping up into the pocket, but I think the entire process of the step up, oh oh dang, 94's right there, kind of got to set and jump back, just messed up the timing of everything. But I like the process. The result didn't turn out to what you want. Process isn't terrible, but obviously you want to see that ball hit Jennings kind of on the upfield shoulder so he can at least make a move. Correctable. I'm not seeing anything here that is, you know, something that can't be corrected at all. Let's try to see what else the other receivers are doing. BA's running a clear out. That looks like the only thing he's doing is he's just creating that space. So it's Jennings. It's basically Jennings or check down, it looks like. And he makes the correct read. The spacing is there. Just a little behind him. Just a little behind him. But again, the process I believe is correct. The result isn't what you want. But with a young kid, you know, this was his third start in the NFL. These are things that again, we talk about reps with Trey, we talk about experience and things like that. These are the things that come with that. You got a little, you got a little pitch action. Got a little pitch action. That's a tough one. I think the decision was correct ultimately because he would have got crunched if he kept that thing. But I do think 22 played the leverage pretty well. Trey Lance did a good job of pushing it up as much as he could, getting the ball out. Elijah's able to gain the edge, almost gets the first down. So those are the things I think with Trey that you really like about his game is that he has that. Oh, this it? Oh, this is it. This is the one that we've been waiting for. This is the one that we've been waiting for. So again, like watching this type of stuff, like this is where you're like, dude, the ceiling is insane. Like, and I don't think that we've even come close to seeing what Trey Lance is seeing is ceiling is. Like we it's whether you like Trey, whether you don't like Trey, whatever, like we know he's raw, but we also know he has potential. And it's like these are the types of plays where again, play action has got to be so difficult for a quarterback. Again, to be able to turn your back to a defense, execute run action, snap your head back around, try because you have to have a good read pre-snap, and post-snap they're going to be in a completely different spot. So you have to have an idea where they're going to be post-snap. You whip your head around, Great protection up front, by the way. Great protection up front. Oh, look at that. Is that Kyle using a tight end to block the team's best edge rusher? Yep, it is. Where have we seen that before? But what a dime. Choo! What a dime. See, give the kid some time. Dime. Layered. Look at that. Right over. Was that Roquan too? So that's Roquan, one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL. Sheesh. That's a pretty solid play. Let's see what the other routes were looking like. Again, you make this. Someone said, I think, hit Ayuk or something like that. But I think this is a correct read. So watch Ayuk running up the seam, 33, and so both safeties are keyed on Ayuk, which makes, and you can see the linebackers kind of vacating into the zone. And you can see Ray is the correct read here, in my opinion. You can see 33's got hips, he's bailing, and you can see 33 only makes the adjustment when Trey winds up the throw. So I think this is correct read. And just, whoo! I mean, that's a perfect pass. That's a perfect pass. In that situation, with an underneath linebacker, a safety making the adjustment to come back, you can't go too high, you can't go too low. That's a perfect pass. So I think, again, when we continue to talk about Trey, it's just the potential is he can do these things. All we just need to see it. We just need to see it. That's it. We just haven't seen it. I think this was the play that Elijah got hurt on. It was a really good read by Elijah. He bounces it outside. You can see. So I remember watching this game live, and we kind of run this like split zone. Look at 94. Like once 94 feels Trent Williams going to block down, he doesn't even have eyes in the backfield. 94's number one objective is to destroy the pulling tight end. And so the hole's actually supposed to go inside of Croft. Like basically Elijah's supposed to go on the inside hip of Croft. But this is what the Bears were doing to the 49ers that was really impacting the success of the run game is they were squeezing everything. Like this is not designed to bounce outside of the defensive end. But look at how crazy they were squeezing this down. And it was a great move by Elijah, but I think that right there, the plant and hit is where the MCL injury occurred. Someone said that's a misread by Trey. So that depends if it is genuinely zone read. Sometimes they show it to be like zone read, but it's really just split zone. So I mean that's one of those fly on the wall questions. Like, is this a misread by Trey or is this just split zone? Um, and it's just got a zone read action to hold the potentially hold the defensive end. I think it could go both ways. 209 says, no wonder they call this fan base the whiners. Dude, I say this whole time. I'm a huge 49er fan. I engage with these 49er fans on the daily, and I love all you guys. But man, some of our fan base just whines all the time. It's just never happy about anything. Just can't, just can't. You don't have to be happy all the time. Being a fan isn't being happy all the time, but it's just like, my gosh, just chill a little bit. Like, you want an honest opinion from me, someone who has been dealing with this fan base for going on 7 years every day. Oh, we've earned that name. Y'all, some of y'all can't get mad when they call us the 40 whiners because I just sit back. I'm like, yeah, we do whine a lot. But hey, and again, that's why I always say we got a passionate fan base, man. We got a passionate fan base, and sometimes that's manifested in the form of whining. It's just, hey, this is what it is. It's all good. I love y'all. I love y'all. Never change. Never change. My guy says, I've been whining since 1995. I love it. We have we have high expectations for this fan base, man. We got high expectations for the fan base. Or fan base has high expectations. And I get it. We want to win. It's been a while. 49ers made the jump to go get Trey. Questions with Trey, questions at the quarterback. I get it. I get it. It's just funny to me. All right, we got a little QB. What do we call this? Quarterback power, because it's definitely gap scheme up front. Look at that. Oh, we got Croft, Warner, and Kyle Juszczyk lined up to the right, kind of in this like jumbo formation. Uh, Look at the whole line crashing down. They pull Banks. Warner goes up to linebacker. Juice is definitely trying to reach that. So the hole looks like it's designed to go off, definitely off Banks' left hip. Uh, Man, if Trey hit this, I think if Trey doesn't take that step, I think if he can take this plant, but if his next step is angled in the hole where you can see McGlinchey's hip, if he goes one step to kind of push the angle to get the defense to flow, then you take an instant, basically almost like a jab step inside, and then you hit that hole, then you're one on one with number 3, or is that 9? So I think he pushed this a little too far outside. Again, read your blocker. I would say Trey should be reading Banks, and by reading Banks, you're reading his shoulders and his hips. And because his hips and shoulders are angling outside, that means you're cutting opposite direction. So I think it's kind of a misread, a little bit based on the perceived design of the play. And I think if he was able to hit that a little sooner, that would have put McGlinchey in the right spot. And then he's one on one with 9. It's all right. Positive yards at the end of the day. Positive yards at the end of the day. But I do think you can tighten that up a little bit. Definitely think you can tighten that up a little bit. What happened? Offsides. I don't know what happened with this play. This is a, I mean, you got kind of a pin and pull with uh Juice and Trent. You got Ayuk trying to set the edge. Big. I think this is feels like a whiff on Mitchell. So this seems like a big time outside run, but it's not blocked the best. So Debo has to cut inside, but unfortunately he's cutting into the defense. So I think 33 messed that play up. We got the Debo touchdown, Debo truck stick. Whoo! Finally, finally got a score. So again, I mean, look at 55 bites. Tough on this. McGlinchey's zero interest in him. They don't even block 55. I mean, 55, that's talk about not getting any respect. They didn't even block you, my guy. Didn't even block 55. McGlinchey goes straight to second level, gets his hat on 53, gets enough. That's a win block in my book. You get a good block on the outside from McLeod and Mitchell, and then it turns into 1v1. Debo versus safety, and that safety was not ready. He was not ready. He got trucked. Look at how high he is. Look at he's got no forward shoulder lean. He's not anticipating any contact. Debo just koosh, popped him, dog. Popped him. All right, so what's the score? So 49ers go up 7-0, but they didn't score much after that. Didn't score a whole lot after that. Let's see what we got. Kind of like a split zone variation, kind of out of pistol. Shout out Jeff Wilson, current Miami Dolphins running back now. Traded him for a fifth. Who did we get? Did we get Beal? We either got Beal or Luter in that Jeff Wilson trade. So Jeff Wilson turned into Beal or Luter. Not sure exactly which pick it was, but when you see Beal or you see Luter, I guess you could thank that trade from Jeff Wilson to Miami. What do we got here? What I feel like Ayuk needs to take 6. I don't know what he was thinking on that one. I mean, if Ayuk takes 6, 69 stays on his track and he gets to 4, 74 gets to 57, and then it's Debo versus 94. I'd take that matchup more than letting 6 go. So that just feels like a bit of a bust on that one. So this is a good throw. This was a good throw right here. Outside the numbers to the sideline. That's a good throw. I think they called OPI on this particular one. I'm not sure that this one counted, but again, just give him some time to step into his throw. I mean, it's a good throw. It's a good throw on a line, on the money. That's a good throw by Trey Lance. Someone said it could be more towards the sideline. I would say, yeah, if you want to nitpick this thing and you don't want BA to have to come back towards the ball like that, yeah, you could say you could get this more on the upfield shoulder, but this gets a passing grade in my opinion. Is it a perfect throw? Perfect would probably be more to the sideline, but it's still a very, very good throw. Hey, you guys fighting about Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. Here's a hypothetical for you. What if the 49ers win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy and Trey Lance playing one half of the Super Bowl? How are you guys going to manage your emotions? Are you going to be able to survive and enjoy the Super Bowl that the 49ers won because both Trey Lance and Brock Purdy played equally? Or are you going to not be happy with the Super Bowl because your quarterback that you will fight to the death for only played half the game and won it? Which one is it? Because y'all talking about like if only Trey played half the game and the 49ers won the Super Bowl because Brock Purdy came in and played the other half, that you wouldn't be satisfied. I'm going to call cat on all y'all. I'm calling big cat. Y'all would be happy. You wouldn't care. You'd be showing up to the parade with a smile on your face. That's why all this arguing in the middle of May is silly because you don't know who the San Francisco 49ers are going to rely on. You don't know if all three quarterbacks are going to play. Who cares who it is? As long as who is under center is successful. And we win the Super Bowl. But some people would still be upset. I guarantee some people would be like, oh, I'm happy we got our sixth ring, but man, ex quarterback, ex quarterback, like, oh, man, just be happy. Just be happy. It's a nice move there. Make nine miss. There we go. Whoop. Make nine miss. I'll take that all day. I love this. This is a phenomenal comment from Michael. He says, I'd get a half Purdy, half Lance jersey and hang it for the rest of my life. I need this jersey. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? Could you? Oh, please. This would be the ultimate troll to like half the fan base if you just got a half Purdy, half Lance jersey. Like people would not know how to. There would be certain people within this fan base, their minds would explode at the sight of a split Lance Purdy jersey. They'd be, what? What? You like both quarterbacks? No. No. You like Trey? You like Brock? You like both of them? No. Impossible. I, as you can tell, I am a huge fan of this 49ers quarterback discourse. Oh, boy. That was not a good throw. On the back of the jersey, it says "Turdy." You guys are wild. This was not a good throw. Uh, I don't know. Is it tipped? See, I don't know. I'm trying to look at this angle. Like the angle that he throws, like that ball is going nowhere near Debo. It is. I don't think it was tipped. It might have been a little tipped, but the trajectory is the trajectory. That thing was not going to Debo. That was an interesting pass. I think that's a pass where you're like, okay, what are we doing? What's the process here? Did this slip? Did you think he was not going to be kind of taking a couple steps behind the line of scrimmage? Because this would have been blocked up really well. Ayuk would have got that block because you can see Six is trying to duck it. He would have been able to get that block. I don't know, is he expecting him to kind of, I don't know. I don't know what the expectation is here, but it was blocked well. You would have gotten that block from Trent. You would have had Banks out in front, and you had numbers. Oh, you had numbers. You had numbers, man. That's damn near a touchdown if you get this to Debo, man. You had numbers. You would have gotten that block right there. Oof. So, okay. I'm sure there's a reason for that. See, it looks like it was tipped a little, but again, where still the trajectory of that ball was going somewhere where it shouldn't have been. What do we got here? A little check down, not bad. Whatever, easy money. Move the ball. Good blocking up front. Almost busted it. Not bad. Brian says Trey definitely struggles on screen passes. And again, it's a huge, huge part of this offense. And like, I know people don't attribute screen passes as being a highly skilled process, but man, if you want these screens to work, you got to be effective and efficient. You have to be fast. You got to get the ball out quick, and you have to put it on the money. You have to. That's the screens are predicated on. You don't have all this time to put it on the back shoulder or put it in the wrong spot. It's got to be where it's got to be. So let's see. He looks like he's looking over the middle. So he's either looking at Ayuk. Ooh, it feels like he had Ayuk, to be honest. Like, look at that hole. And based on his back foot plant, And if he let that thing rip right here, you put that thing on the 50, like right in front of the 50, you got to put a little layer on it, but you still, if you got some speed, I mean, that would have been a tough throw. You got a little speed behind it. I mean, so I don't mind it. I don't mind him pulling it, especially in these conditions. If he didn't feel ultra confident, like he could have, I think he could have ripped that, but that looks like not super confident in that. So then you get a guy rushing up the middle. He bails, and then that's a good throw on the run. Got it out fast. They lost yards though, so not a great play there. You definitely don't want to lose yards, or they might not have lost yards. It might have broke even, but it definitely. Ooh, Jawan is. Whew, look at Jawan, bro. There's not anyone almost 20 yards. Again, I don't know what the progression is there. He's probably more of a check down option. He took what was in front of him. Don't mind it. But Juwan was real open. Oh, so was this a tip? I can't tell. Oh, more number. Wait, what is this? Is this before half or something? What is this? Is this before half? It is 3rd and 3. 4 seconds to go. Okay. But man, I would have liked to see that. That would have been interesting, but weren't able to get it completed. I can't tell if it was tipped or not. Look at you can tell the balls kind of come, like, see that the ball's like tilted down. It's interesting. So I wonder if that kind of stuff has to do with like his finger. Don't think he touched it because this ball looks like it's kind of angled down from the jump. Yeah, looks like he could be better there. All right, let's get through some more trade throws. So again, we were kind of talking about this process, like screen throws, throws to the flat. It seems like a layup, but it's not always a layup. And by putting that out in front, I mean that's a difficult catch. It's a one-hander. Makes him miss, fumbles again. So again, you want to get this ball closer to the body so that seems like a really late developing. It's not a screen. Definitely nothing's open over the top, so he's got to go check down. Like I think in this scenario, you put the ball more on him. You give Debo an opportunity to make a guy miss. But again, a little bit of a nitpick more than anything else. So again, like even like this far into the tape, ooh, like this again, you can nitpick a little bit if you kind of get this more on the upfield shoulder. I don't think Jawan is breaking away from anyone to begin with. Like Obviously, he broke free here. He got number 6 just watching the play, and he got really open. And it's a great read, great decision, great great job to find the open guy. Got it to him. Again, super nitpick rather than on the back shoulder, you get to the up shoulder, but that's not even worth nitpicking. It's still a good throw. Launched it. That's still a good throw. I don't care. That's a good throw. So I mean, Trey, man, he's got the arm. He's got the arm. He's got the tools. Ooh, gotta cut that up. I would love to see him go a little bit harder upfield on this one, about right there, and kind of angle it at Ayuk and see if you can get some obstruction on that block right there. So like if you go right here and you got eyes up and you start running up the seam, obviously you're trying to run away from the defensive end, but that would pull the safety towards Ayuk's guy, and you can use that block to cut it back inside. And just he kind of runs straight at Croft. I mean, there's a lot of space to take one plant foot, plant, cut it inside. All right, let's see what else we got here. So on this one, you're going to have Burford pulling. I don't think it is the wrong technique from Burford. So you're going to have, he's pulling, right? So he's got two responsibilities here. Based on where the alignment of Roquan is, he's either rolling this block to the inside, which is what you see him do. See him head on the outside shoulder, bring the hips around. But Trey has to read this. Like any running back or quarterback that's running, you got to read your offensive lineman who's pulling, and you have to be able to see if he's doing a kick out. If he's doing a kick out, his shoulders are staying square and he's pushing the lineman or whichever guy he's blocking towards the boundary. And then you run inside of that block. But because you see Burford get head on the outside, hips go outside, theoretically the read is to go outside of Burford because he's rolling this block to the inside. So you can see Trey is kind of running into Roquan. I don't think Burford makes the incorrect read here because Roquan stays on the line of scrimmage, and that's it. If he stays on the line of scrimmage, you got to roll it. If Roquan came jetting upfield, you kick out. So those are the rules. And again, it's just a nitpick. But I think from what we've seen, Trey has a capability to run, right? Like he can run. Trey's got the ability to run. But I think with Trey, like we're still seeing him run at this level. We're still seeing him run at the NFL level, and you know, and Kyle's run game is so intricate in how he designs everything. It's like you got to hit at the right angles, you got to hit the right gaps, you got to read the blocks properly, or else it doesn't look that great. So the potential is there, but with what we keep talking about, right, with the young players with more reps, those things should be figured out. And this one, you take a sack here. but also this is just a coverage sack. Everything is covered. I think you got the Texas route from Kyle Juszczyk, and he gets demolished by Roquan. I would imagine they wanted the Texas because you can see Dwelly kind of clearing out that zone, and then you kind of get Juszczyk underneath, and just there's nothing open here. So I don't. It's just a coverage sack. Good defense. Good defense. O line held up for the initial reads. And then Trey just had to make something shake because you got a coverage sack here. So what else we got? Not trying to spend too much time on the running plays, even though I could spend all day on them, trying to stay focused on Trey. So again, we are in a monsoon. This is Trey Lance's first start as the anointed franchise quarterback. I mean, there's definitely room for improvement, right? Like I don't think any one of us is watching this and like, oh, Trey's a perfect product. But we all knew that Trey wasn't, this perfect product right now. And what we need from Trey is we need to get the experience under his belt, just like the Jalen Hurtses, just like the Josh Allens, just like all these quarterbacks that needed reps to be able to understand the game. I remember, who was it? It was New York Giants, Eli Manning talking about this. I think he talked about playing behind Kurt Warner. So when Kurt Warner was a Giant for a short stint, um, so Kurt Warner, obviously Hall of Fame quarterback. His glory days of being on the Rams was through. He made his way to the Giants. The Giants drafted Eli Manning. Eli Manning talked about like there's nothing that can replicate game reps and what you can learn from having game reps. No amount of sitting behind another quarterback is going to like help you learn more, right? So I still think that holds true with Trey. Is just the man hasn't gotten two consistent starts. I mean, he did. He got Bears and Seattle, but he wasn't able to finish Seattle. And I still see all the potential. Ooh, oh, bro. If Trey got his eyes up and he cooked this up for Ayuk. Ooh. See, this is one where I'd be like Trey, when we get back into the coaching room and you're watching this stuff back, I'm like, take this shot. Don't throw this into the dirt right here. I know you got a guy. It's a naked boot, so yes, you're gonna have a defender in your face immediately. But man, if he could have saw Ayuk flash and just put it at the sideline, right? Like, see, it's almost on the right path. Put it on the sideline where only Ayuk could get it and just give him a shot at it. It's a hard throw. Not easy. What I'm asking is not an easy process. So I don't want that to be clear. Like for him to let this rip on the run to his right, flush with a defender in his face, and then asking him to throw it 25 yards downfield on the move where only IU can get it. It's not an easy throw, but I'd love to see the op. Would just love to see him try it. And again, more experience, more confidence is it the more reps he gets, the more like he's going to be like, I'm gonna let this one rip. Like you can see Ayuk look around, like he knows he was open. And if you just kind of floated that thing up towards the sideline to where only Ayuk could run under it, just love to see that opportunity and could kind of live with the outcome of it. Ball came out all jacked up. So again, oh, he's got no laces. So you can see he's throwing this with no laces. No laces. He's not wasting any time to try to find the laces, which I don't mind, but no laces and that ball just gets away from him. Ball just gets away from him. Yeah, I agree 55 was in his face way too fast. That's why I was saying it's not and what I'm asking is not easy. It would be if he made that throw, it would be an elite throw. Like we'd be like, okay, that's a phenomenal throw. The coaching point is just eventually build up the confidence to kind of if you're able to like know that Ayuk is going to be open, like let it rip. Like if I'm the coach, I'm like, I want you to take that shot. I know it's a highly unlikelihood that it's completed, but I love to see him take the shot. I like the step up here. You get 94 on a stunt, so you're going to get the loop. You're going to get Banks pick it up. That's a pretty decent pickup from Banks, not going to lie. And a better job by Trey to slip. I like the slipping of the arm, step up, throw. Probably again nitpick. Want to get it more on the right shoulder, our right, but still completion. I'll take it. Okay, we get instant pressure up up the middle. So again, oh, what do we got? Oh, Banks definitely took the wrong step. Look at where Banks is. Look at where uh, Trent is. So that's not right. Banks takes the wrong step, gives 96 the leverage, but shout out to Banks for getting at least that leverage and recovery to allow Trey to step up and try to make something happen. But ultimately wasn't able to get it done. All right. We're almost through here. Oh, the interception. That's right. So this one, you can see it looks like he's trying to hold the safety, and I think he believes he holds the safety. I believe what they call this is he's basically the hook defender and kind of, I believe, in a robber type position. And that looks like exactly what Ford does. And I think Trey thinks he's in the clear when Ford goes to the middle of the field. But I mean, that's a good play by Ford. Gets a tackle though. And then I think the rain just went crazy after this. Rain just went crazy. 49ers were down. They're down 2 scores, 7 minutes left, kind of desperation mode. Look at the rain. I mean, the rain is crazy. Still delivers a dart to Brandon Ayuk. So that was a good throw. First down, move the chains. Almost interception again. Ooh, close. Again, difficult throw because you have to layer it over the linebacker, but fit it in over the safety. Don't mind the attempt. Just gotta get a little higher. You gotta be able to drop it in. But the rain is crazy at this point. It's a decent throw to get it to Debo in between the numbers, give him a chance to make a move. So obviously the 49ers are clearly at a big disadvantage at this point in the game. Trey's just trying to do whatever he can. The rain was so crazy this game. I don't know what it was about the 49ers, but they played in a lot of rain games last year. Dude, look at the rain, still completing it. The numbers and the lines are starting to fade. Dude, this rain is crazy, man. That is crazy. I mean, at this point, I don't really care what happens. Like that rain is insane. And they're just trying to move the ball. He got a fumble. I mean, it's just when it rains, it pours, right? That's what they say. When it rains, it pours. So I think when we all saw this rain coming down, it was like, oh my gosh, like they're down 2 scores. That means they had to throw it. The rain was like insane. I was like, there's no way. And that's not a shot at Trey. That's just like anyone, like having to throw and like complete a comeback win under the like look at the field. Look at the lines. Looks like a Picasso painting. Like that is insane. And then, it's just the downhill from there. What a crazy game. What a crazy game. Anyways, that's the Trey Lance tape. Again, it's not the best example because there's so many just oddball elements to that particular game. Um, but the potential's there, man. The potential's there. I would love to see what Trey looks like with some time, with some reps, with stacking some consecutive games together. Just like don't we just don't know. And again, it's like where does this narrative come from? Kittle doesn't seem to like Lance that much. That worries me a little bit. I mean, Trey Lance is headed to Nashville for tight end U. So They seem to be doing just fine. Seem to be doing just fine. So again, we got through Sam yesterday. We got through Trey today. With both of them, the potential is there for both. With Trey, again, it's just cleaning up small things. It's when it comes to being a runner, it's just I think I think at that point in his career, things are just moving so fast. Like, and there's so many small details that you have to read as a runner with the ball in your hand in Kyle's scheme and how you have to read the blocking. Um, that will come with time. Um, his we still saw throws outside the numbers. We saw layered throws. We saw deep throws. We saw some good short throws into the flat. We've got a sample of everything. It's just putting it together and doing it consistently. And can we judge that from a monsoon game? We can, but it doesn't mean you're giving him the best circumstances in that scenario. So um, I still think he needs a shot. What that looks like, I don't know. But it just again, it's going to be fascinating to see Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold. What is it going to look like in camp? I don't know, but I think it's going to be interesting. Do you think all the design runs make it more difficult for Trey to get into a rhythm throwing? Mm, I would say it would become difficult if the runs aren't successful. You know what I mean? Because if he doesn't have a successful run, it impacts the next play that's being called. I think if Trey were to be running the football and he was having success at running, I think that would help his rhythm. But I think it also kind of acts as a kind of counterproductive if it's not successful. You know what I mean? Like if he's not finding that success and doing those things, then um, I think it could be counterproductive as well. But I also think if they're in a positive their positive runs, I think that can help him as well. So I think it's kind of a double-edged sword at this particular stage in his career. Um, just because it doesn't look like he's all the way there as a runner, and they want to utilize that ability, right? They want to utilize Trey's ability to run, but he's not all the way there yet. So, and I don't think they feel 100% confident with him as a pure pocket passer. So they find themselves in like this weird spot where they're like, well, we want to utilize Trey's physical tools and we want to run him because he has the potential to be a good runner, but it's the small nuances of being a runner at the NFL level where he's still kind of getting his feet wet and like the one thing I could say about going from college to the NFL level, at least what I noticed with Kyle's run game, like your margin for hitting a gap or a hole with timing is like that big. Like you got to be on point in Kyle's with timing, with your cuts, with your angles, with all of it, because your angle determines how the O lineman blocks at times. Like it's there's so many intricacies to running in Kyle's scheme, and the margins for errors are razor thin. So if you're not like 95% to what it should be, if you're running at like kind of like an 80% margin of like 80% of what you're doing is correct, but there's still like a 20% gap where you're like you're on the wrong track or you didn't read the block in front of you exactly correct, your hole is gone. So that's why I think Kyle and his run game, like with the pre-snap motions and everything that they're trying to accomplish with, kind of the Zorro concept, pulling guys across the line of scrimmage. There's just so much. It's like a ballet. It's like a symphony. Everything needs to work together, and then once everything starts working together and the timing is perfect, that's when you see just the seas part and these massive holes. Um, but if one little thing is off, it's like it's either even with the offensive line, one little thing's off with the offensive line, it's a chain reaction. It's just it goes down the line. So all in all, I just again it's the same thing that we've known with Trey. Like the potential is still there. You can see the him and he's capable of making the throws. And I imagine that if Trey was able to build up his confidence and was able to start stacking games. And I think if we're talking about Trey Lance heading into his third year, like we're talking about Trey Lance, like at minimum, playing his let's see, I'm really bad at math, so I'm legitimately pulling out a calculator. If Trey Lance has already played 34 games in his career, not including playoffs, just pure regular season, 2 full regular seasons, rookie, sophomore, and we're heading into year 3, the conversation around Trey Lance is abundantly different. It's completely different. Like, but we just don't know. We just don't know what that looks like. We we've got 4 games. We don't got 34. And that's the crazy part of where we're at with Trey Lance, I think. I think he's capable. I think he's got the talent, and I think he will improve. But man, he's gotten 4 games in the last when he theoretically could have had 34 at this particular point. And that's tough. That's tough because there's so much learning that could have happened um, in those 30 additional games that he would have benefited from. He would have grown from. He would have evolved from. His game would have matured. Everything would have matured. And we would know what Trey Lance is, or we'd have a good idea of what Trey Lance is. We'd be able to confidently say that the arrow is pointing up and et cetera, et cetera. But there's so many questions now because we are 2 years in and he's played 4 games. So again, it will be something that we just continue to have to watch and see, how he's continued to progress. Again, everything that we've heard is he's been moving in the right direction with everything. Um, things have been he's been improving, mechanics have improved, uh, and that's great. And as a 23-year-old quarterback, the sky should be the limit. So, but same thing goes for Trey Lance, or excuse me, for Brock Purdy. Sky's also the limit for that young man. And I know Sam Darnold has left a lot to be desired, but he still has potential as well. So we've got 3 quarterbacks with some potential. We've seen Brock win. Still trying to discern what Trey will be, but we can at least see that the potential is still there, and we go from there. So, um, we'll go from there. So we've done Sam, we've done Trey. Do we do Brock next? Do we just keep going through? We did 1 game of Sam, we did 1 game of Trey. Do we get Brock? Do we get Brock cooking next? Might have to, because man, the chat is super entertaining during these quarterback film breakdowns. It's hilarious uh, to watch how everyone goes back and forth about this whole quarterback thing, man. It's hilarious. But might have to do Brock next. And hey, man, we got a long off season. Not bad to also relive some of the fun wins that we had. So we're gonna keep cooking. Appreciate everyone for tapping in. Smash the like button, as they say, or as I say all the time. Smash the like button if you haven't already. If you haven't subbed, what are you doing? Hit that sub button. Appreciate to everyone vibing. If you stayed for that whole film session, a whole hour and a half, absolutely grab your cookies on the way out. And another day, another dollar. Appreciate you guys as always for tapping in. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see